I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I'm sure many of you who have been following me on social media will be surprised that the man in the farm is dressed like this. I told you that the ability to mutate, the ability to change form. I'm not in the farming mood, I'm in the preaching mode. Now, I will do two messages in this video because of our limited time. I want to talk about this dress and the need to restrain yourself. That is one work the Holy Spirit does in people, the ability to restrain people. I gave some books to the man who made this dress for me years back, and the books were worth 40,000 naira. He wanted to distribute them in his church. I had been recommended to him, and I went for a program in his church. He didn't remit the money for some time. I understand maybe those he gave the books to didn't remit to him. But there was the tendency in me when I lacked money to put him under pressure to bring the money and to even get angry with him. But God restrained me. God restrained me. And I didn't make any bad comments or anything concerning that money. When you are in need and when you are angry and when you are deprived, please be very careful. Show restraint. When you are provoked, show restraint. I'm speaking to myself and I pray you listen. And after some time, he called me again to come and preach. And since I've been going there, after that first incident, they've given me more than ~1,000,000 naira in the form of honorarium. On my birthday, they were the ones who made the cake. My 62nd birthday, the day I was laying the foundation of Petra Institute, they were the ones who made the cake for me to celebrate my birthday. And then one time he said I should send my measurements, and I sent measurements. And he made this beautiful dress for me. I could have missed it if I had offended him. If I had gotten angry because of 40,000 naira. Imagine 40,000 naira is giving me more than 1,000,000 in terms of honorarium. Several times I've gone there. Number two, he became the director of administration in our organization, the Church of God Mission International. And he recommended me to come and give seminars, preach at the headquarters of our church from the same pulpit where Archbishop Benson Idahosa preached. First time I went, they sent a big SUV, Archbishop 3, as the number plate with police to come and carry me from Ogele. And I preached and I met those who in those days I used to act as usher for Ataba. And then I was invited again to speak to the men. After that, I was invited again to speak to 4,000 pastors from all over the world, because one of the bishops that sat near me when we went for dinner in Mama Idahosa's place was from Texas. And I was treated like royalty. And I've been booked for several engagements ahead. I could have missed all that because of 40,000 naira. Poor people fight for crumbs of bread. Rich people ignore that fight and build bakeries. The problem with the poor is their anger. The problem with the poor is their desperation. One of the things life taught me was that I could survive with little. So in this stage, I can lose much and still move forward. That is the story of this dress. The next thing I want to talk about is the addiction to sponsored comfort. I've been in this hotel since on Friday. Beautiful hotel. In fact, the owner of the hotel came to see me here because I had been preaching to him when he was much younger. He's a pastor, has his church. Came to visit me to fraternize with me. This comfort is sponsored. Let me tell you one thing about life. Have you ever wondered why people become presidential spokesmen? They become press secretary to the governor. They become whatever. They become public relations officer to an oil company or a multinational that are exploiting our resources. And they suddenly change their tone, their attitude. I know a senior advocate in Nigeria that was for the people and suddenly he went into politics and his attitude has changed. He is defending anything indefensible. Why? It's addiction to sponsored comfort. I was invited by a special assistant to a governor. He called me and said that he wanted me to come and preach somewhere, and he was coming to see me. I told him I don't really like relationship with Nigerian politicians because a typical Nigerian politician will make a true prophet a liar if you are not careful. And so he came to see me in the hotel, Lekota Hotel in Aba. And he said he wanted me to come and speak at Uwana, where Akano Ibiam comes from. In fact, the venue is opposite Akano Ibiam's house. And I don't like driving long distances. So I went with my wife with public transport. And we got to Umuahia. We stopped at the motor park, the bus terminal. And I was waiting for them to come and carry me to the government house. And they sent a government vehicle with a driver to come and carry me to the governor's house. And they put me in is it a chief of staff or head of service or whoever? And I was in the office. Let me tell you the secret of the game. They kept me waiting. Kept me waiting. That's what they do. They will keep you waiting to increase their relevance and to intimidate you. I know the game. You see, when people want to make themselves important to you and to intimidate you, they keep you waiting. They make it difficult for you to access them. That's one thing I don't do. You can easily access. You can easily call me. I'll answer my calls. They make it difficult for you to access them. Then I sat down there, but my spirit man was rising in me. I know the game. You can't intimidate me. I will wait it out. And then they sent a senior police officer, I think he's an ASP or DSP, to come and inspect me. The policeman came. What are you waiting for? I told him I'm waiting for so person. It's okay. Just be patient. She's busy. Me, I'm not busy. I left my house to come here. I'm not busy. Okay, you're busier than me. Sat down. Then she just came in. She was the sister to the governor. Ah, Daddy, welcome. Daddy, welcome. And you kept me waiting. She won't keep somebody else who she feels is bigger than me waiting. Kept me waiting, and Daddy, welcome. The next thing was that they brought in another government vehicle, not the one that carried me from the bus, another one, and a driver to carry me all the way to Abakaliki from Aba. One of the things I noticed as I was passing through the police roadblocks and they were waving us on, unlike what they do to me when I drive, there was an appetite generating to get addicted to this free passage, to get used to the lifestyle of the oppressor or the lifestyle of power. But I told myself, it is not sustainable. You must separate yourself. So I separated Dr. Apoki from the man who was going to preach. God, they put us in a hotel, beautiful hotel. They came with another vehicle to carry me to Wana, brought me back with another vehicle with police escorts and all that. If you get addicted to that, you become a slave to the person who is giving you the comfort, sponsoring the comfort. You want to continue in that comfort and that luxury. You will lose your identity. You will lose your personality. You will lose your intellect. You become a slave to luxury. Learn to walk away from the free meal. Learn to walk away from sponsored comfort. It's not sustainable. I finished speaking. I told them I was to speak in Nnewi. And they carried me from Abakaliki to Nnewi. You don't know the distance. With government vehicle. And I got to Nnewi, put the driver in a hotel, and he drove back. For nearly 15 to 16 to 20 years, I never heard from that man again. Only recently, he called me. He had left office. Those other politicians, I don't know what happened to them. He had left office. But listen, when I left him, I didn't call him back. And most probably, he didn't even call me whether I've gotten home. That is the nature of life. People will walk away. When you are no longer useful and they don't need you, they will face their lives. Me, I faced my life. I built my life. I developed myself. And he will watch this video. And I've been developing myself. And then he called me to speak at Enugu for his friend. Very humble man. Called me to speak at Enugu. Very nice man. To speak at Enugu. And I told them they will come and carry me from Umuahia because a church invited me, a redeemed church invited me to Umuahia. And they sent a vehicle from Umuahia to come and carry me from Ogeli to Umuahia. I finished speaking, the vehicle came to carry me to Enugu. Put me in a very beautiful hotel. And then I finished speaking. They carried me from Enugu to Ogeli. But listen, I have grown myself. I have an accommodation somewhere built by my wife and I that is as fine as this place. Because I told myself, when I leave sponsored comfort, I must go back to personal comfort. Build your life. Build your dream. Generate your own money. Generate your own comfort. Build value on your life. Give value to people. And then you can speak the mind of God from this book, the Bible, without fear or favor. I spoke in a church and the general overseer felt that his elders were offended with what I said. And what I said was true. And the power of God moved and prophecies confirmed what I was saying. The next day I was to preach on Sunday. He said that could I ameliorate what I had said? And I said no. I told him then I was 63 years old. I told him that I'm older than most of the governors in this country. And that at this age, when I hear from God, even when I was a younger minister, when I hear from God, and God tells me to say a thing, I don't apologize to man. I told him if he was not interested in my preaching that Sunday, I was ready to go back to Ogeli, that I had enough money in my pocket to go back home. And he said I should preach. And I preached. The power of God came down in the gallery, in the main hall, in the overflow halls. People were watching from America. I knew that I would never come there again to preach. But I had said what God told me to say. And I left immediately to the hotel, packed my things, wanted to board the vehicle without waiting for the honorarium. Because I don't like sponsored comfort, holding me to slavery. They met me at the car park. I said, please, let's go back to the hotel. And they gave me a large honorarium. But I make that with a phone call. I sell that in my gari. I get that from school fees. I have things that I'm doing, real estate, that will give me that money so that I don't depend on sponsored comfort. Beware of sponsored comfort. That is the problem with Nigeria. That's why you see ministers of information, you see all kinds of people defending iniquity. My greatest concern in this country, what model will we set for our children? Sponsored comfort will bring the greed in you. Sponsored comfort will bring the tribalism in you, religious bigotry. Because we want to put our fingers into the national cake. We want to remain relevant in the eyes and in the lives of people who are the enemies of this nation. Thank God for those who have sponsored my stay here. They are genuine men of God, holy men of God. But me, I always separate myself from sponsored comfort. Pack my things. I'm ready to go. The vehicle is waiting. God bless you. I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki.